go with the last UI element, which is button. So I'm going to create the button now. So button. So let me give the text as maybe go. Okay. So I just created a button with the text as go. Now let's have a look. So here the button is also touching the edge of the input field. It is not looking nice for me. So I want a margin. So what you can do, you can apply a small margin at the begin direction of the button. So that means if this is the button, I will apply the margin at the begin direction. So when you apply the margin at the begin direction, automatically the button will move to the right side. So let's go and do it. Class equal to SAP UI small margin begin. Okay. SAP UI small margin begin. Now let's see how it looks. Yeah, now you can see this is the button. Okay. So the button also has a property, main property called type. The type property gives you the semantic colors in SAP UI5. So what do you mean by semantic colors in SAP UI5? SAP UI5 has mainly 3 semantic colors. So semantic colors means what? First of all, I will explain that. Semantic colors. In the business scenarios, in SAP UI5 is used for developing business applications. In business applications, whatever SAP develops, okay, or even as a customer, you will also develop. There will be some places where you need to apply the colors, okay. So those colors are red color for showing negative or danger scenarios, green color to show you the positive scenarios, and orange color to show in between the positive and negative. So like a warning kind of scenarios if you want to show. So these 3 are called the semantic colors in SAP UI5. Red, green, orange. So these 3 are called semantic colors. For example, there is a product. The product is not available. Okay. So that particular not available, which is the status of the product, can be shown by using red color. So similarly, green color means positive scenario. So let's say there is a product which is available. So the text available you can represent in a green color. So orange color for showing some warning related statuses. For example, the product is available but shortage is there, means limited number. I want to show that in orange color, warning that very soon this product is going to, the stock is going to over. So for these kind of warning messages, if you want to show, so we show them in orange color. So these are called semantic colors. So red, green, and orange. So these semantic colors are also given for the buttons. We showcase the buttons with green color for positive scenarios like go. We showcase the buttons with red color to represent a negative scenario like delete, cancel, and all. You might have seen these things in our Fiori launchpad. So I don't know today the launchpad is not working, maybe down, I think. So you might have seen, right? I have shown you all the applications of our previous batch in the launchpad. So maybe I will show you in the PPT as well. See, you can see here approve is in green color, reject is in red color. So this is what is called semantic colors. See, this is approve, which is a green color, and reject, which is a red color. So how these colors will come? These colors are called semantic colors. We don't write any CSS for these colors. SAP follows the semantic color mechanism. For any positive scenario, we give a green color. For negative scenarios, we give red color, and in between, we give orange color. So for this, there is a property called type. So for the type property, if you give the value called accept, it gives you a green color in the button. So now you find a green color in the button. So similarly, if you give type equal to reject, so then you will find a red color for the button. So for the buttons, normally we use green, red, and for the buttons, there is another semantic color which is called blue. So if you give type equal to emphasized, so this gives you a blue color button. Orange color button is not available in SAP UI5. Okay. So orange color we use, but not for the buttons. So we use the orange color for displaying the statuses of some products or purchase order, or some particular items status. To represent that particular status, we use the orange color, not for the buttons. So for buttons, we use red, green, and blue color in SAP UI5. Okay. All right. So now what we are going to do is, we are going to see one extra thing in today's class, not only just seeing the properties. So we have seen all the UI elements and their properties. Along with the UI elements and properties, now I am going to teach you, and that is dynamically changing the properties of the UI elements. So we have seen all the basic UI elements. So dynamically changing the properties. Now, whatever the properties we have so far, so this is text UI element. So for the text UI element, text is a property, text align is a property. So similarly, width is a property. If you take the label UI element, so for the label UI element, text is a property. If you take input field UI element, so for the input field, width is a property. For the button UI element, text is a property. So similarly, type equal to emphasized. So this type is also a property. So these properties I have defined within the view, and these properties, each and every property has some value. Okay. So here the text property is having welcome to SAP UI5. So similarly here the label is having a text property. So this text property is having enter your name, right? So these property values can be changed dynamically also. The property values can be changed dynamically also. Now let us see how can I change these properties dynamically. To change the properties of these UI elements dynamically, SAP has given something called getter and setter functions. Getter and setter functions. What is getter function and what is setter function? A getter function is the one that gives you the value, current value of the property. For example, this is the text UI element. Okay. So for the text UI element, if I use the getter function, so the syntax of a getter function is get plus property name. Get plus property name gives you the getter function. So similarly, the setter function syntax is set plus property name. Set plus property name is setter function. Getter function is used to get the value of the property. Setter function is used to set a new value to the property. Let me explain with an example. If you take the text UI element, the text UI element has a text property. These getter and setter functions, they work on the UI element. So first of all, you should have the UI element in hand, okay, to work on the UI elements. So for example, if I have to get this particular welcome to SAP UI5, I need to get the value of the text property. I need to get this is called the value of this particular property. I'm repeating again. This is called the value of this particular text property. So similarly, emphasized is the value of type property. Getting it? Now let us see how can I get this particular welcome to SAP UI5. So if I have to get this value, I need to apply the getter function on that property called text. So as per the syntax, get plus property name. So this becomes get, property name is text, so get text. So this particular get text, which is a function, getter function, has to be applied on the text UI element. So remember, getter and setter functions work on the UI element. So if you do not have the UI element, it won't work. So first I need to point out to the text UI element dot get text. So I need to clearly mention the UI element first. So I need to point out to the text UI element, and then I should say get text. If you simply say get text, whose text I need to get? It will not understand, okay? Because the text property is available not only here, the text property is available here, the text property also available here. So get text means whose text I should get. Is it the text UI elements text I need to get, or the label or the button? Whose text I should get, correct? So remember, all these getter and setter functions, they work only on the UI elements. So first of all, you need to keep the UI element, and then you need to apply the getter or setter functions. Okay, so now you understood the getter function. So similarly, so let's say you want to, instead of welcome to SAP UI5, so you want to write welcome to Samir or welcome to Rizwan, something else you want to write. Now this is a new value, correct? So instead of this particular text, you want to replace with some new text. So this is called setter. This is where the setter function will come into picture. So again, you need to use the text UI element dot set text. So set and then the property name. Set and then the property name. So here the property name is text, so set text. If the property name is, for example, type, then set type, get a type, set a type. So similarly, get a text align, set text align. So similarly, set width, get width. Okay, so like this you can use these getter and setter functions. Now I want to set a new text, so I will say my text UI element dot set text, and then I will give the new value, and that is welcome to Rizwan, for example. Now keeping this particular basics of getter and setter function, now let us develop a small example for today's class. Now let us take the small requirement. Now the requirement is, I will enter the name here, so one of your name. So let us take my name as an example, Rizwan. And when I click on the go button, so basically what I want is, this welcome message should change as welcome to, and then instead of SAP UI5, I want the person's name. So if the name is Rizwan, then I want welcome to Rizwan. If the name is, let's say Samir, then I want welcome to Samir. Yeah, so like this. Now let us see how we can implement this functionality. First of all, this entire functionality should happen when you click on the Go button, isn't it? When you want this entire functionality to be achieved, you want this entire functionality to be achieved when you click on the Go button. So here comes another concept called action or event. Now let us understand this. What is an action or event? Action. So which automatically triggers something called event in SAP UI5. So let us try to understand what is action. You no need to really understand event. If you understand action, automatically event you will understand. All the interactable UI elements of SAP UI5, not only SAP UI5, you go to any technology, all the interactable UI elements, with these interactable UI elements, the end user will perform some action. For example, if there is a button, what end user will do? End user will press the button. If there is a drop down, what end user can do? End user can select a value from the drop down. If there is a table, what end user can do? The user can select a row from the table. If there is a radio button, what end user can do? He can select some radio button from the options. If there is a checkbox, what end user can do? He can select the checkbox. So what are all the things as of now, till now, whatever I have told. So from all these things, what end user is doing? End user is performing some action. Checking a checkbox is an action. Clicking a button is an action. Selecting a row from the table is an action. Selecting a value from the drop down is an action. So all these things are actions. All these things are actions. When the end user performs some action, on that particular action, normally some functionality will be executed, correct? If you see our employee management application, there is a Go button. So unfortunately today I cannot able to show you. If I fill some filter and click on the Go button, so when I click on Go button, what happened? The table got filtered. So that means on press of this button, some functionality happened or not? Yes. So whenever the end user performs an action, on that particular action, some functionality will be executed. How that functionality will be executed? We will assign a function for these actions, and within that functions, we write our own coding in the JavaScript. Okay, now let us see how this happens. So these actions are available only for the interactable UI elements. For example, if you take the text UI element, the text UI element is not an interactable UI element. It will just display the text. Apart from displaying the text, it won't do anything. So this is not interactable UI element. I hope you understand what is an interactable UI element. Interactable UI element is such a UI element which end user can do something with that. For a text UI element, end user can't do anything. He can just see and read it. But a button, end user can press the button, right? So for these interactable UI elements, along with the properties, SAP has given something called actions or events. So here for the button, SAP has given something called press event, or you can call that as an action as well. action or event. However you call it, I don't mind. So press is a predefined action that SAP has given. Now, what is the meaning of this press equal to? The meaning is whenever end user press this button, then you need to assign a function here on press go. It's a function. So this is the name of the function. Now with this particular name, you need to go to the controller. So let me go to the controller. Now in this controller, you need to write your JavaScript function. So I will explain the syntax, don't worry. So in our JavaScript, SAP UI5 JavaScript, the function starts with a function name and then colon and the function keyword, round brackets, open curly braces to indicate opening of the function and closing curly braces to indicate closing of the function. I repeat once again, the syntax of writing a JavaScript function is very, very easy. Name of the function followed by colon and then function keyword to indicate that this is a function, round brackets, open curly braces to indicate start of the function, closing curly braces to indicate end of the function. So that is the very simple syntax of writing a JavaScript function. Okay. So if there are multiple functions, then there should be a comma for the previous function. Last function, no need to have a comma. So here I no need to keep the comma. That is optional. Even if you keep comma also, it is not an error. But for the last function, comma is not required. Okay. Now what exactly happens is when the end user press this button, since you clearly mentioned to call this function, so your UI5 framework automatically calls this function that is present in its controller. Okay. So now if I write some code here, so this code gets executed. Normally for the beginners, just to test whether this function is getting executed or not, we use something called alert statement. So there is one testing. Okay. So what is alert statement? Alert statement is normally used for testing whether this function is getting executed or not. So let's go here and I'm going to click the go button. So when I click the go button, you can see the alert. This is called alert message. This is called alert message. Remember, alert messages should be used only for the testing and they should be removed after that. Now response testing has come. So this clearly means that when I press the go button, it is calling that function. See, it is calling the function. That is the reason the alert message is coming. Now remove this. Okay. Now what I need to do? Wait till the output comes. Yeah. Now what is my requirement? Once again, let us go back to the requirement. The requirement is the end user will enter some name. So I need to read this particular value from the input field and I need to construct a new welcome message. So that welcome message I need to set to the text UI element. So I do not want welcome to SAP UI5. I want welcome to Rizwan, right? So let us see how this can be done by using getter and setter functions. I told you the getter and setter functions, they work on the UI elements. Every getter and every setter function, they work on the UI element. That means you need to point out to the UI elements first. You need the UI elements first. How to point out to the UI element from the controller level? So let's go and understand. Now this is my function. From this function, I need to point out to this input field first. because I need to read the value from this input field. Why should I read the value from this input field? The reason is I want a new welcome message with my name, whatever I entered in the input field. I want welcome to Rizwan. So if you want this name, you need to read the value from the input field. So to read the value from the input field, you need to point out to the input field first. You need to point out to the input field first. So how to point out to the input field? So this is done by using their IDs. So we give the ID as and where we require. So I am giving ID input like this. Now copy this ID. So this ID is called unique identification of a UI element. You can give any name. Okay, so I normally give this with a starting with the two letters ID, just to indicate, just to everyone can understand, okay, this is an ID. Okay, so just copy this, go to the controller. Now we need to write it like this. This dot by ID. This dot get view dot by ID. Your input field dot get value. Now let us understand this simple JavaScript statement. Let me explain word to word. This means current file is called this in SAP UI5. This means current file. So what is current file here? So what is a current file, guys? View1 controller is the current file. Yes or no? Yes. So in which file I am present? I am present in View1 controller, correct? So always remember, wherever you see the keyword this, you need to understand this means current file. So as of now, the current file is View1 controller. Now on top of this View1 controller, there is a function called get view, means get the view of this controller. So who is the view of this controller? This is the view of this controller. So it goes to the view, and then by ID means point to the UI element by using this ID. So which UI element is having this ID? Obviously input field is having this ID. So it points to the input field. And by pointing to the input field, it is calling a getter function get value. So what happens? It gives the value that is present inside the input field. Now this entire value we are assigning to a variable called name. In JavaScript, there are no data types. For example, in C language, there is a data type called integer, float, decimal, string, character, like that. But in JavaScript, every variable will be defined by using var statement. That's all. So it's very easy. Very, very easy for the developer. Okay, so now I got the name. Now what I will do, I will take another variable called welcome message equal to, I will append welcome to, and then to this particular welcome to, which is a static string, I am appending. Appending means plus. Plus is called concatenation operator in JavaScript. So I am combining the name here, welcome to, and then the variable name. So do you know what happens with this statement? It becomes welcome to Rizwan, because the variable name contains the value that you entered in the input field. So this becomes welcome to Rizwan, or welcome to Madhavi, welcome to Samir, welcome to Babji. So this variable will contain welcome to and then the value that you entered in the input field. Okay, I got the new welcome message. So this welcome message I need to set where? I need to set where? I need to set here. What is this? This is a text UI element. This is a text UI element. Now, for the text UI element, there is a text property. So here I need to set dynamically. So this is done by using the set text function. This is done by using setText function. To apply the setter method, I need the UI element first. So how can I identify this UI element from the controller? Again, by using ID. So ID text. So like this, whenever it is appropriate, then only we give the ID. We don't give ID for all the UI elements. Now copy this text, go to the controller and say this dot get view dot by ID. So go to the view and point out to this UI element. That is the meaning. Now I pointed out to the text UI element. I pointed out to what? I pointed out to the text UI element. Now the text UI element is having setter function, set plus property name. So here the property is text property. So the setter function becomes a set text. If the property is type, then it becomes set type. If the property is text align, then it becomes a set text align. So always remember the setter and getter functions are present for all the properties. Okay, for example, you want to assign a new text align from center to right. Then you need to write set text align. For example, you want to change the color of the button. So instead of saying set type, emphasized, you can say set type accept to get a green color. Okay. So like this, set plus property name becomes the setter function. Set plus property name. Fine. So now I need to set this text property with a new value. So I need to say set text dot set text. So which text I need to set? I already have my text, that is welcome message. So I will set it here. Is it not what I mentioned here? Yeah, that's the same. Now let us see what happens here. So let me enter Samir and click on the go button, and now you can see welcome to Samir. So for example, if I change this to Madhavi and let me click on go button, so this has changed to welcome to Madhavi. So like this, you can change any property, guys. This is just an example for one such setter and getter. So this is setter function, set text, but I can do this setter function on any UI element. So just for a matter of example, so let me show you by changing the color of the button from, as of now it is blue. So let me change it to red color. So for that, I will point out to the button using its ID. So let me point out to the button this dot get view dot ID of the button. Now I need to apply a setter function. Setter function. So what is the syntax of setter function? Set plus property name. Now the color is coming because of the type property. So I need to say set type. So I need to say set type. So which type? I want a red color. So red color is reject. So reject gives red color. So set type reject. So blue color is coming because of type is emphasized. So similarly, if I give type is accept, it gives green color. So here if I give accept, then it gives green color. Now let us see. For example, Monica here. Let me click on the go button. Now you can see welcome to Monica, and at the same time this button has gone red. So how this button has gone red? It is because of this particular statement. I hope you understand. So this is the very basic UI elements in SAP UI5, and along with that we also understand how I can change the properties dynamically by using JavaScript code. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Otherwise, you can leave, guys.
This one, can you show me that page once? Here view, get view you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
Control level. If it is multiple views as there,
Every
view
view
name
talks
also
only to its
different.
controller. Every view talks only to the controller. So this dot get view means its own view. 1:1 relation between the view and controller. View 1 talks only to the view 1 controller. View 1 cannot talk to view 2 controller.
Okay.
1:1 relation. Every web page functionality is written in its own controller. Okay. So have you attended the demo class followed by the classes?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, okay, Satyanarayana. Any other questions? Okay. So fine, guys. Then have a nice day. Tomorrow, actually, I came to my hometown. That's the reason you might be hearing these noises. If I am in Hyderabad, I have a separate room over there, and no noises will come. So I came to hometown because of a function in my family. So tomorrow is the function actually. So I will update you. Mostly the class, I may not take the class because of so many relatives will be there in the home tomorrow. So maybe I will conduct the next class on Friday. Okay, so tomorrow is Thursday, right? So mostly I may cancel the class. I will update you by evening. Okay, yeah. Thank you all. Have a nice day. Bye bye.